Hello, everybody. Welcome to Attitudes with Andy. My name is Andy, and this is the place where we get to learn how to grow and evolve into the happiest, healthiest, and bestest humans we can ever be. Why'd I get awkward? I don't know. Today is a topic I'm thrilled to talk about. This is a topic that one of the beautiful humans in our community asked me to do a topic on. So if you ever want me to do a mini episode, please message me and I might just do it. So today, our friend asked us about spending money and not feeling guilty. This is something that really, really resonates with me, and it's something I've had to really work hard to overcome. And so I'm really excited to delve into it. Okay, so before we go into it, obviously, I am not a financial advisor. I am not qualified. So all of this is for entertainment purposes only. Please always, go and chat to a professional before making any financial decisions. But we're not really talking about any advice. We are just going to be discussing, and I'm going to be sharing my journey of how I overcome the guilt of spending money. So a lot of people these days, I feel, tend to be spenders. And there are a lot of stuff out there of how to help spenders save. But there are also people out there like my fellow self and like this person who asked this question who struggle to spend their money because they are natural savers, okay? Oh, I can hear the dog shaking. Oh, hello. So the first thing is if you are finding yourself feeling guilty for spending money, I want you to know that this is okay, and we're going to unpack it so that you can feel more confident and more abundant with money. So the first thing is we want to look at your money story, your history with money, okay? Every single person has a different relationship with money. Some people might talk about money and it might make them feel really horrible, really tight and insecure. And other people might talk about money and they love it. And they're like, yes, money, that's me. I love money. Well, we all love money, but some people find money stressful. Anyway, so we just want to think, how did we grow up with money? Was there a lot? Was there just enough? Was there never enough? Was it argued about? Like, what was our situation growing up? And then was it spoken about? What are our feelings around it? Okay. For me, I've always been a weird one. I have just always loved money. Like, we were very lucky as a children. I've had an amazing childhood. I have just always been a natural saver. Like, honestly, what I would find fun just like as a little girl would be just like sitting there and like counting my cash and just not spending it. Like, I just loved looking at money, holding money. Like, I loved it. I started a tuck shop at boarding school and I just like bought all this cheap food from Aldi and would sell it to the girls and I would just make bank, and I loved it. Like, I've just always been that way, and it's nothing bad at all. But when you're feeling guilty for spending money, that is when we want to kind of look at things. Okay, so we've got our money story, and we kind of are going to, I want you to unpack that and be like, okay, actually, like, money was maybe thought about and then it felt like there was never enough. And so maybe that's why you hold on to your money a lot, and then when it's time to spend it, you're feeling guilty because you're like, no, I shouldn't be spending this because it was fought over when I was younger, or there was never enough. So like, why would I deserve to spend it? Okay. And there's nothing wrong about that, but it's just something you want to work over. Okay, so once you have your money story and you know where that comes from, the next is kind of allowing yourself to spend that money. So I love a good, systemization with money. When I get paid, I have auto transfers coming out of that, going into my different bank accounts. Now, when I was first trying to not feel guilty about spending money, I did exactly what the Barefoot Investor said, and they have a debit card, and this debit card / bank account is literally dedicated for splurge. It is called Splurge, and the word splurge means obviously there's excess and we're just going to splash the cash. We're just going to spend it. And so having all your money allocated into its different buckets, you're saving, you might be investing, you're putting things away for bills, all of that. And then you have your splurge. It just gives you permission. That money in there is dedicated to you to spend money on. Okay. So having that account was really good gateway trickling into spending money. Then I kind of graduated, one would say, from that account. And now I kind of have like a daily account where it has like food, fuel, fun in it. Anyway, but I think one of the best things I ever kind of got told was like, it doesn't really matter where you're putting your money and what you're doing, in the sense that if you're still putting money away for saving and investing and, being smart, you're not going into credit card debt or anything, like you're still saving and stuff, then it doesn't really matter what you do with the rest. Do you know what I mean? Like whether you spend it all on food or all on coffee or, spend money on clothes or whatever it is, it doesn't really matter as long as you have the fundamentals in place. So could you be feeling guilty because like actually you are being irresponsible with money and you're not saving anything? You don't have an emergency fund. You are living week to week. And then when you spend money, yeah, maybe you are going to feel guilty. It could also be the money story, but whichever one, it's important to have your systems in place. So I highly recommend reading or listening to The Barefoot Investor because they really break down so easy and in such a fun way, ways to manage your money in a very empowering way. So the next thing is with feeling guilty. I think it's really important to remind yourself, like, actually, I do deserve this. So say we have all our systems in place and you're saving your money and then you've got some left over, but you're still feeling guilty spending it. It's really, really important to remind yourself, like, actually, I do deserve this and like money gets to serve me. I don't have to be like a servant to it, in the sense that like I used to feel so guilty, and sometimes I still do, but I have to remind myself. I used to feel so guilty for spending money on clothes. It's just something I got hand-me-downs, or like I was always so fussy with clothes. And I just would never buy it because I hated shopping and I didn't like picking it out. Anyway, and so I felt guilty buying clothes. And I remember just telling myself, I was like, my goodness, Andy, you deserve to wear clothes that you feel confident in, that you feel beautiful in. Like you don't need to be wearing like a hand-me-down where you feel like an average Joe. So reminding yourself that you do deserve it. And when you first start spending money, it might actually feel uncomfortable. When you first like allow yourself to like splurge a little bit, when you're a natural born saver, it does feel uncomfortable. And I totally get that. The last thing I'll say is that giving away your money and being generous was the biggest thing that helped me. I used to be the biggest tight ass ever. And I don't like to admit that, but it is my truth and it is my past, but it is in the past. Now I love to be abundant. Like if you're shopping, I don't know, at Cotton On and they're like, do you want to donate $2 to this charity? Like, just say yes. Like, donate, give money. And also like I love shouting people coffee when we go and get coffee and all of that. Like I'm not saying you need to give thousands or $100 away, but just practice giving money away and being generous, because this alleviates kind of the guilt and it makes you feel abundant. If you're giving to charity, you have extra to give. And that is really, really nice. The worst feeling in the world is feeling guilty and then tight and then stressing when you're at dinner and you're like, oh, I don't want to split bill because mine was $4 or $5 cheaper or something like that. Like, be abundant. Just split the bill evenly, even if people got more drinks or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a really, really important thing that I learned, was like learn to give, learn to be abundant, and learn to feel fine with money. Something to remind yourself is there's plenty more money. And I'm not saying like go spend all your money and like blow it on a holiday, but if you have the allocated funds and you've saved up for like a holiday and you're feeling guilty for spending the money, just remember that like experiences, you can't really buy back experiences. So it's like, go do it, because there's plenty more money to be made, as long as you're also filling your investment buckets and your saving buckets. So I think in summary, as long as you have all of your fundamentals in place and you are just, keep on working, keeping upskilling yourself and keep on earning money and then putting your stuff away, please don't feel guilty for spending money. It is, at the end of the day, we all probably have a job or a business or investments that earn us money so that we can live. And we don't want to just get by. We also want to enjoy ourselves and have that. So have your allocated money and just practice being like, I am abundant, and breaking down the stories of what you might be telling yourself and then trying change that story. Okay. I'm so sorry if that was dribble. It's like about to be 10 p.m. So I should really go to bed. But thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want me to do any topics, come say howdy on my Instagram at Attitudes with Andy. And I'll see you guys for another episode next Monday and every Monday after that. Okay. I love you all so much. Thank you for investing your time into listening to this podcast. Okay. Bye.